Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video we have some exciting news to share with you regarding two new arrivals in the workshop, which will unveil them in just a minute. However, any garden tractor enthusiasts will know that these are very sought after models, and especially if you're a garden tractor enthusiast here in the UK, you'll know that the competition is very tight to get these. With people bidding quite high amounts of money for these sort of things now. However, we managed to pick up not one but two for a reasonable price, so we're very happy. These are models that we've been after for many years now, and you may notice that I'm getting bigger, but these are quite small tractors that we've bought here. So have a think about what you reckon these tractors might be, and we'll unveil them in just a minute. So regular followers of my channel will know that we have quite a big collection of garden tractors of various brands: Bolan's, Wheelhorse, Cub Cadet, Ropers, some British brands, quite a big variety, some rarer models, some more common. And we're pretty happy with our collection overall, which is handy because we've run out of space pretty much. And we're also at the limit that my mum set for us of how many tractors we can get. So we're on pretty strict orders not to get any more, especially after our Cub Cadet original purchase not too long ago. However, we did negotiate some exceptions to that rule, and we're quite lucky that we managed to find two of those exceptions at the same time, which I think it's a pretty unique situation here in the UK to get two of these tractors at the same time, seeing as it's pretty hard to even get one of them. I mean, they're quite rare, and as I said earlier, lots of competition for them too. So these machines will be of particular interest to two of my followers who have their own YouTube channels. Firstly, Dell from In the Backyard with Dell, and also Dwayne from Harrison Horse Stables, Wheelhorse of course. So that's your final clue. And I'm not going to give you long to dwell on that final clue because I'm now going to pull the sheets. So, as you'll see here, we have a pair of Wheelhorse Suburbans. This one being a 1960 Suburban 400, and this one a 1961 Suburban 401. So we got both of these machines from a friend of ours who we've known for a number of years, and he actually gave us first refusal on these machines, well, many years ago, and he said that he would never sell them because obviously they're quite rare models, that they were some of his favourites in his collection. However, in the end he did want to sell them, and we picked these up while we could. Now, a brief overview of each machine. The 401 is the better condition of the two. This has been restored by the person that our friend got this from. Now, we don't fully know their definition of restored yet. Clearly it was repainted, but we haven't looked much into the mechanical workings of the tractor to see if they did any work there or whether they just did a repaint. Clearly it has the optional extra rear fenders and toolbox, so that's a nice addition on this one, and it's got some extra bits that need taken off on there as well. The 401 is the worst of the two. You can see the front tyre that side is de-seated, or unseated, sorry, and there's quite a few bad points, such as this lift lever is bent over to the side, the hood's been cut up, and that is not the original engine. That's an engine that our friend put in here, which is actually meant to be a new old stock engine, so you never know, if we get that running that should work quite well. But there's a story behind the original engine which we actually have as well, and we've got a number of other things with these two tractors as well, which we'll show you quickly now, which is this entire table full of stuff. Firstly, there is this underbelly deck, which I believe is actually an RJ deck. Our friend imported this from the States. It's in a bit of a state, as it is, and appears to be a little bit buckled as well. And I think we're probably missing a few bits to actually fully rig these up onto one of the tractors, and it's quite badly rusted in places. The easiest course of action would probably be to make up a new shell, since it's pretty straight, or it's meant to be in the original design, and then just take all of the mechanical bits off this shell, transfer them to the new one, and then you have a pretty much brand new deck. So that shouldn't be too difficult of a project in future. And now if we move over here, this is the original engine from the Suburban 400, which you may notice we did feature in a video recently. Now, we only know one thing really about this engine, which is the flywheel is cracked. Well, so badly cracked that it's fully broken. You can see I'm turning the starter cup, which has part of the flywheel attached to it. The rest of it is just sitting in there. So I assume that happened while the engine was running, and I bet that was a bit of a fright for whoever was using the tractor, seeing as you sit pretty much directly above the engine or just behind the engine on one of these round hood wheel horses. So yeah, but that was an experience. And then we also got this spare engine as well. I believe it's another Kohler K90 or K91. Really don't know much about it at all, condition wise or anything like that. Here we have a box of bits, including another slot hitch, so both of them have slot hitches for the back, a replacement belt guard here, and just some other bits that really we need to go through one by one and sort out. Also got a spare pan seat and these two front tyres here, which aren't brand new but they're still in good condition. These will probably end up going on the Suburban 400, and we put some new tubes in there ready for when we get around to that job. So now we'll try to go into a bit more detail on each of these tractors. We're not experts on Wheelhorse Suburbans at all, so if you spot anything we don't spot, or you think we've said something wrong about these, please do let us know in the comment section down below. We need to do a bit of learning on these before we start to have a look at them at some point further down the line. Now, the difference between one of these and one of our other tractors, or the main difference, is the engine is right here in the middle, so middle engine, rear wheel drive, pretty much a Porsche, if you ask me. And usually, the exhausts for these, you have kind of a 90-degree joint here, and then a pipe that runs to the front, then points out at like a 45-degree angle with a shower head muffler on the end there to direct the exhaust gases away from your leg, whereas both of these have kind of the standard Kohler muffler on there, which will give you a very warm right leg, as it is at the moment. So obviously we'll have to get some pipe at some point. I think we might struggle to get hold of shower head mufflers at a reasonable price, because they do sell for quite a bit, and obviously we'd have to source them from America, so that adds in shipping and everything. Just makes it way more expensive. Now, some other things we've spotted on here, there's all these brackets and stuff on the top of the hood here. They can be gotten rid of, hopefully. Same with this random horse logo that's on there as well. Not sure if there'll be paint under there. I hope there is, because otherwise it'll look a bit weird with just kind of original paint where these were previously covering the metal. Someone's also put checker plate on these foot pegs or foot rests, which is unfortunate, but hopefully we can just drill out those rivets and then uncover the original ones, and hopefully there isn't any damage to the original foot plates or anything. Down here, we've actually spotted that the slots for the engine mounts seem to have been kind of butchered a bit by an angle grinder or something. Quite a few slices in the chassis there, and they don't resemble slots anymore, so that's quite unfortunate, really. And we need to have a look into those, see if they need repairing or anything. And then the belt guard here, I think might be homemade on this one. It doesn't really kind of follow the shape that the belt takes, which most of the belt guards that I've seen on Suburbans do, so I'm not sure if this will be as functional as those ones either. And there is actually an extra idler pulley mounted right here, so just there effectively. So clearly we need to have a look at the clutch system on this, make sure it's still working as it is, or as it should do. the belt is very frayed, so we'll also have to have a look at that, what's caused that. Probably need a replacement belt as well. Doubt you'll be able to see it in there, but it's very frayed on the outside.
You could certainly see some hammer marks along this piece of metal, suggesting that somebody's manually bent that, if that is homemade.
Yeah. So that might get kept. It might be replaced depending on whether it's functional or not. We'll have to see. In the long run, it'd be nice to have the correct belt guard on there, but just for running it, we'll see. On the clutch on this side, or attached to the brake band, is this lever here, which if you push all the way down, seems to act as like a handbrake there. So that fully engages the brake if you shove that all the way down. And when you lift this back up, it disengages, but not fully. When we've been pushing this, it feels like the brake band is still slightly engaged. So we need to have a look at that as well, maybe do some adjustments on that. I'm not sure if that's standard. It doesn't particularly look standard to me, but I don't know. Someone let us know if you do have any idea about that in the comment section down below. The lift cable here seems to run directly over the gearbox. I'm not sure whether that should have some sort of outer on it, like we put on our Wheelhorse 706 in that project earlier in the year, just to protect the gearbox and whatnot. Whether that should have one on there, not too sure. Would make sense if it did. Up here, it seems to have the wrong choke cable, I would say. It should look like this throttle cable, but just with a C on it, effectively. So, I mean, this is functional, but for originality, I think it should look like that one, and that's easy to find a replacement for. I think there should also be a blank for this circular hole here. But, again, that shouldn't be too difficult. There seems to be some firewood in the toolbox as well, which I'm not sure what the point of that is, besides keeping us warm when we take it out of there. And this is the tractor that's already fitted with a slot hitch on the back, so the spare will be for the other Suburban, as you can see back there. Now, the only other thing I'll mention on this tractor is that the front wheels appear to look quite odd. From what I can see, these Suburban front wheels, the centres seem to stick out more on one side than they do on the other. So this Suburban 401 seems to have the bit that sticks out more on the outside, therefore making the front end narrower. Whereas the 400 seems to have them the other way around, where the bit that sticks out more is on the inside, I would say, rather than the outside. But you can't fully tell really, especially with these gold end caps on. But it just seems a bit weird that the centres would stick out further than the wheel. It just seems like a bit of a trip hazard too. And it'd be easy to catch the wheel on there and then damage the steering components and everything if you were driving the tractor. So we'll have to have a look about what we're going to do about that in future. Now on to the 400, where there's quite a few more bits that we need to do. Obviously, as I said, the steering is seized. The steering wheel itself is in quite poor condition, unfortunately. So it's going to take quite a lot of repairing there. And while we're looking at this area, obviously the throttle and choke cables would be here. They're kind of push-pull, or not push-pull, but you push the levers forwards and backwards on this rather than push-pull cables, which we probably prefer this setup. But obviously someone's cut the hood as well, which is not great. So that's some welding for us to do in future. I believe the rubber grommet from the gear stick is in that tub of spares. I'm not fully sure what this bit of metal's doing here. That's probably, and these bolts, they're probably working as an idler while the belt guard is missing. We'll probably put that replacement belt guard on this tractor. And I can't remember which one it is. It's not this one, it's the other side. The hood bracket this side is actually homemade. It's not painted or anything, it's all rusty. It's the only reason why I think it's homemade. And then, as I said, this lift lever being bent over means that it actually hits the clutch pedal as you bring it forward there. So that needs to change before we start using this. Down there you can also see the foot pegs are missing, which are a different design to the 401. From what I can gather, they're just kind of a bit of checker plate that's been bent with a step in it, and then obviously the mounting bracket on the back. Shouldn't be too hard to fabricate, but that depends whether we're getting other parts from the States, how much those would cost as well to kind of throw those in. Now, I've talked about steering being seized, but on the end, or in the steering system down here, sorry, there appears to be an entire like circular gear down there where we would usually expect there to be a steering quadrant. And this is all very hard for Dad to video, so he's actually doing a pretty good job of showing it there. But yeah, it's an entire circular gear. We're not fully sure what's going on there. I mean, I don't think it's part of the problem of it being seized. I think the seized bit is probably in here, in that part of the hood stand. But yeah, I don't think that should be a circular gear. We need to look at the manuals and everything. And then we might have to try and find some replacement steering parts for this as well. And besides that, on this tractor, the only other thing I have to say is probably the fact that the wheels look quite rusty. I mean, especially you can see the inside of the wheel here where the tyres completely come off the rim, and also the rears. You can see there's a bit of distance between the tyre and the rim, so it's not fully seated, so that's not great either. One more thing on the Suburban 400, there's a big old dent here in the top of the bonnet and another one on the front there, so we've got some dent pulling to do at some point, as well as all the other work on this bonnet, which would be quite a big job. Now, both of these machines have sat in storage for a number of years, and therefore they are absolutely filthy. So we're going to give them a bit of a clean up now, see if we can make them look any better, and we'll come back to you in just a minute with the results. So we've had a bit of a clean up now, and the 401 has actually come up quite nicely, despite the fact that it looks like it was painted by Stevie Wonder with a yard brush. No offence to Stevie Wonder, of course. But it's shined up quite nicely, as red tractors tend to, whereas the 400 looks just a bit better than it was. We didn't clean all of it up because we kind of got sidetracked having a bit of a poke around with stuff, and it looks like those steering repairs, or getting the steering unseized, is going to be quite the challenge for us. That could take quite a while, and most of the front end is going to have to be taken apart. So that is a considerable job on this tractor, and seeing as we're not very familiar with these, we may well have to pull the other one apart as well, just so that we know how it all goes together, or how it all should look. Now, these are not projects for now, these are further down the line. Obviously, we've got multiple projects running already, and we're not going to try and disrupt those projects by doing these now. These are just, we got them because we could right now, and then these will be put on hold for a while until we get around to them. The exception to that might be those steering repairs, because we want this as mobile as possible, really. And besides that, we might have a little poke around with them every now and then, but they're definitely not going to be video series straight away. But please do let us know in the comment section down below if you have any ideas on any of the questions we've raised today, especially about these wheels. We are very kind of intrigued whether they should be inset like this, or more like how they are on the 400 here. Also, let us know what you think of our pair of Wheelhorse Suburbans. But that is it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.